Luiz sure seems to be on his way out of Chelsea.
Is going to Arsenal.
Hello there guys, welcome back to Blues TV for a slightly depressing video today. Because it is a slightly depressing day. Yesterday was a slightly depressing day when the news started coming out. Because Mr. David Luiz sure seems to be on his way out of Chelsea to Arsenal on Premier League transfer deadline day. And I was just thinking to myself, what the hell is going on? Like, where on earth has this come from? Like, when I first read those news, when they came out initially by some French outlet, what on earth? Like, what? Why? Clearly, this is not true. It cannot be true.
Now, if you told me that 2 days ago, I wouldn't have even believed a word that you're saying, but it's deadline day. Deadline day is bare mad, and it's happening right now. David Luiz is going to Arsenal. Chelsea have agreed an £8 million deal with Arsenal for the defender, with David Luiz already at North London right now doing his medical. And yeah, it's come out of nowhere. I mean, he recently signed a new contract in, I think, May until 2021. But after an alleged fallout with Frank Lampard, Lampard apparently only sees him as his fourth choice centre-back for the season.
Is this really true? Like, obviously he started off with saying David Luiz refused to train and is on his way out and is forcing his way out of Chelsea. That, turned out to not exactly be the case. It was more a case of he was a Cobham, but Frank Lampard told him to train away from the group in a sense. And there's multiple different stories as to why it has gotten to where we are now. Reports were saying, okay, Lampard just didn't rate him that much and wanted to play Christensen, Zuma and Rudiger over him. And then Luiz was like, well, I ain't having that and I'm leaving. Other reports say there was multiple bus stops between the two in these last few weeks, or in the last week, I guess. And that led to Frank Lampard, demoting David Luiz to being third or fourth choice centre-back. And only then did he want to leave because of all of that happening. There's multiple different stories out there. And either which way, David Luiz doesn't look good in it, quite frankly. Especially if it's, the bus stop version. If the bus stops are true and, he wasn't listening to Frank Lampard, as, some people out there are saying, and, obviously Frank Lampard isn't having that, then that is not good in David Luiz. That is not good in David Luiz. And it just sounds like an authority problem to me. I mean, honestly, that is what it sounds like, isn't it now?
Personally, I'm fine with it. I thought in the long term, David Luiz was going to have to go anyway. And I get that he is a good defender, but as much as he is a good defender and as much as he is one of the best ball-playing centre-backs in the world, he's also suspect as in defence. And there's been so many times, not just last season, but seasons past as well, held back to his first spell at Chelsea. He always seems to get caught sleeping, always seems to be dragged out of position, always seems to just get caught out once or twice per game, and sometimes that's just enough for the opposition to counter-attack us and score. But like I said, he is one of the best ball-playing centre-backs in the world. He has done a lot for us. Munich 2012 speaks for itself. 16-17, possibly his only world-class season for us when he came back from PSG and he fucking banged it under Conte. But what happened under Conte fell out with him as well, and it turned into a Conte versus Luiz thing, and I think now it's turning into a Luiz v Lampard thing. And we know that if it's going to be David Luiz and Frank Lampard, there is only going to be one winner. And I'm fine with it. He's 32 years old, he hasn't got a lot more years left at the top level. And personally as well, I don't really like the fact that he isn't looking to fight for his place. I mean, I get that you're fourth choice centre-back, I get that you're 32 years old, I get that there's not really a lot left for you at the top level. But if you've been at Chelsea for 7 seasons and you love the club as much as you say that you do, why are you leaving so early? Why are you leaving without a fight?
Frank Lampard, to me, fair play. As much as I think David Luiz should be our first choice centre-back, he can't be having that if David Luiz doesn't listen to him, or if there's bust-ups, if he's just a bad influence on the group. Like, I don't think David Luiz was ever lying when he said that he loves Chelsea, when he was really happy to come back from PSG. I don't think he was ever lying about that. I don't think he was lying in his recent interviews when he said how happy he is with the young group and how happy he is with this new way of Chelsea and all that kind of thing. I don't think he was lying there, but maybe it's just an authority problem. Maybe we put this upon ourselves with appointing a manager that played with the players, but it shouldn't be the case. Like, a player should understand who's the manager, and if the manager tells them something, they should listen. Like, it's as simple as that. They should pay attention and they should try to work on what the manager tells them. If that isn't done, then I think fair play to Frank Lampard for, playing hardball in a sense and just saying, well, if you're not with me, then you can go. And quite frankly, I have to agree, like David Luiz, I'm going to have to say now was my second favourite Chelsea player in this current squad behind Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And it's disappointing. It's really disappointing. And this one really, really stings. And obviously, to make it even worse, he seems to be on his way to Arsenal. Which, I'm like, I mean, I get it. Obviously, his business, he has his restaurant and all sorts of family, I'm sure, and, friends and whatever. But, I mean, I'm sure Chelsea in the situation where we're not exactly best pleased and not exactly asking a lot of money anyway, could just try, to get him abroad, somewhere else in Europe. Obviously, the European transfer window is open for much, much longer, for another basically 3 weeks. So, that would have been much easier to do. At the same time, maybe he would then refuse to leave and maybe he would just stay. Who knows? So, it's a really difficult situation and it's a really disappointing situation. But I have to say, I think it makes us a worse team. Like going into the season without David Luiz as one of our centre-backs, I was already not particularly hopeful ahead of the season, but with him gone basically and not playing, like when I look at that Borussia Mönchengladbach game and see Zuma and Andreas Christensen playing together, I'm not exactly hopeful. Of course, they can sort themselves out. They're really young and they can improve and stuff. But he's important. He was a leader on that pitch, but if those reports are true and if he was behaving the way he, is said to have behaved, then fair play to Frank. And, it needed to be done. This move needed to be done. And it's good that Frank Lampard, in a sense, doesn't take the player power because Chelsea have had player power problems, multiple times over. Whether it was with Mourinho, whether it was, I guess, with Villas-Boas, even though in that case us fans were very happy about it. And other situations as well, it seemed like Sarri had some problems with it. Antonio Conte seemed to have some problems with it. It's a difficult one. But, when I hear these things, I'm like, did David Luiz, was that also a reason why Mourinho wanted to get rid of him back in 2014? Was it also authority problems back then already? We know about the problems that Antonio Conte had with David Luiz. We all know that when Conte said he's injured, that wasn't necessarily fully true. So maybe that, that was an authority problem thing as well. The whole 3-0 loss away in Rome when everything kicked off apparently between Cahill and Luiz, and, Cahill was apparently just an intermediary. So it's difficult. Maybe it was just a problem. And if it was a problem like that, as good of a player as he is, and as important as he is to the team, in my opinion, it's probably best that David Luiz leaves, as much as it pains me to say it. I just hope that he doesn't play well for Arsenal, quite frankly. But I do still believe that, he loves Chelsea, and as it takes away from it a little bit, but I still want to remember the good moments that, we shared with him. He played in Munich. He's one of the heroes, one of the legends that played in Munich.
I look back at legends like John Terry, legends like Frank Lampard. They didn't go down swinging. They went down with a fight. They tried to push for more game time. And I don't see why David Luiz can't do the same thing. Maybe your fourth choice centre-back, I get that. Who knows where you could be in December? I mean, you look at the defenders we have right now. None of them have really staked their claim. And none of them can really hold down a position and say that it's theirs. All of it's up to grabs, in my opinion. But the fact that he wants to go straight away, in my opinion, just speaks for itself. And it's disappointing, really. It's so disappointing because if you look past all of the suspect movements from him, there's a good defender there and there's a great character as well in the dressing room. And there's a player that's done a lot for the club. But you know what? I guess he wants to go to Arsenal. And I don't really understand going to Arsenal even in itself. If you're at the top level, why are you going downwards? I mean, Arsenal have signed Pepe and everything, but they're still beneath us. They ain't winning anything. We beat them 4-1 in their biggest game of the last decade, and we were embarrassed to even be involved in the competition. Like, I don't know why you want to go to a club with that sort of mentality, but if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. Not really going to lose a lot of sleep over David Luiz going, but let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you think this is a good move, or do you think this is a bad move for Chelsea? How do you think he's going to fare off at Arsenal? Do you think he's going to be banging next to Socrates or just shit in the bed next to Mustafi? You guys let me know down in the comment section below.
No matter what happens, if you played in Munich, you are on a pedestal at Chelsea, and you deserve to be on that. And he's the last one of the lot that's leaving now. See, Gary Cahill just left, so it's a depressing one. It stings, but that's where we are, and it sure seems to be finalised. Later on today that David Luiz will be going to Arsenal Football Club. But yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to Blues TV. That would be massively appreciated. Drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and of course leave us your thoughts. Of course, leave us your thoughts on the whole saga down in the comment section below. Do you think Luiz is in the wrong? Do you think Lampard is in the wrong? Do you think we should still keep him? Are you okay with him going to Arsenal?
I will see you guys in a couple days for my preview for Manchester United versus Chelsea, and then the season starts, and it's probably going to be the most interesting season we've had in years. Let's see what happens. Up the Chelsea.
Hello everyone, I am Sophie Rose.
And I'm Luiz, and we are your new presenters for Blues TV for the upcoming season.
So make sure you click the subscribe button and keep watching.